something to watch it, right? The mutual fund is your diversification. When you take your $1, you invest in all these different companies at one time. So now that 12%, it's not a guarantee. The market can't guarantee. One day you might be up. I mean, 1 year you might be up 30%. You're very happy. The next year you might drop back down 15%. You're not so happy. But 30 minus 15 is what?
15.
Would you rather have that 15% or that 0 point something in the bank?
15.
All day long, right? That's how the rich keep getting richer. Now, mutual fund managers can't guarantee that 12%. How many of you guys ever heard of the Dow Jones? Right? You see it goes up and down every day, right? When Obama became president, the Dow Jones was at 6,300. How many of you guys know what the Dow is right now? Think it's up or down? 25,000. Almost 26,000. So you went from 6,300 to 25,000. And most people miss that run. It's more millionaires today than ever before because they took their run. Now, they trying to give that claim to Trump. Didn't happen. When Obama left presidency, it was at 22,000. When you start a locomotive, it's hard to stop. So he went from 6,300 to 22,000, and a lot of people miss that run because when the market is down, people panic. And it's all on the news all the time. But when it's up, they don't hear about it. But you look at the news tonight. They talk about the traffic. They talk about the weather. They talk about all the fast stuff, and they talk about the market, and we miss that. And then they talk about sports. Every day, you're going to start seeing it right now. So that 12%, now watch this. We got 3% here, we ended up with 8,000. I doubled that to 6%, we ended up with 64. Now I'm going to double that to 12%, which is the maximum by law I can illustrate, but I can guarantee you this. If you have a 401k plan at your job, there are some funds in there getting better than 12%. You probably just don't know it because they say, here's your packet. You go home and read it, and if you don't understand it, you don't know how to take advantage of it, right? So now we got 12%. What do you think we're going to end up with at 672? Somebody give me a number. 100 something?
128.
128? 125, something like that? Okay, let's take a look. So 12 going to 72, 6 times. Now your money is going to double every 6 years. 6 years later, that doubles to 2,000, to 4,000, 8,000, 16,000, 32, 64, there's your 128, which doubles to $250,000, to $500,000, to $1 million, $2 million, $4 million off that one-time investment of one ring. Imagine if your grandparents would have done something like that, what would you be? Why didn't they do it?
We need knowledge.
Right? Nobody's come to our neighborhoods teaching this concept. It's been around forever. You think the DuPonts know this? Right? We got to learn the same thing. We give our money to the bank. Do you think the bank is holding on to it, waiting for you to come pick it up? No. They're taking it over here. They got $4 million, giving you back 8,000, and we're shaking their hands saying thank you very much. When all we got to do is take our money from here and put it right to the global economy. You can start a mutual fund as little as $25 a month. Who can't afford that? That's like a bottle of water a day, right? We go buy lunch every day. That's $25 a week. That's $100 a month. Right there, we can adjust that and start putting some money into it. Listen, you got $1 million and just get a 10% return on that. That's your $100,000 a year. That's your $8,000 a month right there. The million you never have to touch. You leaving that for the next generation. That's that generational wealth. Most people that's wealthy, in that first generation, 70% of it is gone. By the second generation, 90% of it is gone because we don't understand this concept to make it last a lot longer, right? So, let's continue. Go to another slide. All we got to do is stay focused. Remember the 3 Ds, dollar cost averaging, discipline, and diversification, right? Diversify your money over the course of time. Now, how many of you guys understand dollar cost averaging? Watch how cool this is. So dollar cost averaging, here's a person who's investor A. They invested in a rising market. It's going up constantly the whole time. Investor B, not that lucky. It goes down and then it comes back up to exactly the same spot it was before, right? If you was an investor, where would you rather be? A or B? How many say A? How many say B? Right? Why you say B in the back? Just curious.
When I'm thinking of fluctuating, I'm thinking about how it can, I'm thinking about it going around in a circle. Like it's fluctual, I am mistaken for residual.
Okay. Well, no, it's not residual. It's just fluctual. It's going up and down. So sometimes you buy it high, sometimes you buy it low. Let me give you an example. So investor A, let's say you gave me $100 a month. You started investing, kind of like in your 401k plan. They give me $100 a month. The first month, the shares are $10 a share. So if you give me $100, how many shares are you buying? 10 shares, right? The second month, the market starts to drop. It's down to $8. It's up to $12. Now you only buy 8 shares. The market keeps going up. At $14, you're like, all right, making some money, right? So even in the 6 months, it went all the way to $20 a share. Now you're buying 5 shares. So for the six months, you gave me $100 a month. How much money did you give me? 6 months, $600. Now you got 42 shares, right? The shares are worth $20 a share now. How much money do you have? You got $20 times 42. 800 and some dollars, right? You gave me how much? 600. Are you happy? It's not a bad thing. You gave me 600, now you have $800. Watch this in a fluctuating market. Here they started out with $100. They bought 10 shares the first month. The market went down. $7. You say, Kevin, that's crazy. I don't want my money going down. It dropped down to $4. It dropped down to $2. Most people panicking and they put their money out.
You buy more.
You buy more shares, right? At the end of the day, you got 126 shares. You started out at $10 a share. It's still only at $10 a share. But 10 times 126 is what? $1,200. You gave me 600, but now you have 1,200 because the market was going up and down. But here is where most people pulled out. In 2008, most of our people just got out. They didn't want to get back in. You can't invest on emotion.
That's true.
Invest on what your objective is. It's not about timing the market. It's how much time you're going to be in the market. There's almost no way you can lose money if you're in there for 5 years or more. There hasn't been a time in history that the market has never averaged at least 10%. Even from 2000, 2002, it was a crash. 2008, it was a crash. But any 10 years around that, it still averaged 10%. And a lot of our people missed it because we didn't understand it. We didn't know, right? So let's look at this here. $600, you bought 42 shares, $14 it cost you per share. Here, $6, $4 a share you bought it because you bought almost 126 shares over the course of that time. So this is another thing I want to talk about, procrastination. So we got some young folks in here. Let's say you start investing at age 22. And you invested all the way up to age 29, put your money into an IRA, the max you can put in is $5,500 a year. And then you get to the point, you know what, I'm married now, I can't put any money away, I'm going to stick right there. So you put $5,500 away for those 7 years, you put away $44,000. That $44,000, because of compounded interest, grew to over $2 million. So let's say the other person does it differently. They say, you know what, I'm going to party, 22 years old, I'm not going to put anything away until I turn 30. So they put their $5,500 from 30 all the way to age 62. They put in $209,000, but yet they have $1.8 million. The earlier you get started, the less money you got to put away, right? A lot of times, the longer we procrastinate, the more money you got to put away. Would you rather put away $44,000 or $200-something thousand? Got to let it go, right? And we got to teach our kids the same concept, right? My nieces and nephews, they don't know anything about the savings and checking account. Not that they don't, because they don't need it now, they don't have any bills. That's the only reason you should have a checking and savings account. Money going in and money going out. If you saving for something, nothing shouldn't be there because you wanted to grow for it. Now let's talk about protecting what you already have. What do you think most people say is their greatest financial asset? Their house. If you don't pay that mortgage 4, 5, 6 months, what happens to the house? It's gone, right? So what gives you the capability to pay for that home?
Your job.
Your job. So you are your greatest financial asset. Don't let anybody tell you different. Without your ability to produce income, you can't afford that house. You can't afford food on the table. You can't afford transportation. So now you got to think, God forbid something happens to you. If you're the income provider, how would you replace that income for your family?
Your wife.
How can she go out and replace your income if she's already working? Huh?
With her job.
With her job. Would her job double what she's paying because you passed away?
The way how you do it is you make sure that she can afford the bills at the same time as you, so that way y'all can save some type of money. That's how you
You can still save, but will she still have the same lifestyle? Because now she can't save because your money is gone.
Right.
So she can survive, but she can't accumulate any wealth because all that money is gone. Would you agree? Right? So how do you replace that? How do you replace your income if you're gone? You gotta have life insurance, right? You have car insurance in case something happens to your car. You have homeowners insurance in case something happens to your home. It can replace that. Life insurance can't replace life. Never have, never will. But it will replace that person's income. So it's devastating when you lose a loved one, but when that money stops coming in, that lasts a lot longer. Right? Right back in the day, it was passing a cup. Now they got this GoFundMe account to pay for funeral. It should never happen, but it does, right?
That's true.
So it's basically 2 types of insurances out there. One's a cash value, whole life, universal life, variable life. It has some bells and whistles. It costs a little more. Part of the money is going towards some savings that you can borrow from. The other type is going towards to pay for your death claim if something happens. Term insurance is only for a period of time. Once that period is over, 25, 30 years, you have no more insurance. It costs cheaper, you get more, but there's no bells and whistles. Which one would you rather have?
I'm getting the guap.
The one that you can borrow from. How many say the one you can borrow from? How many ones say they ain't gonna accumulate nothing? The one you can borrow from, right? 9 times out of 10, that's what people say. But watch this. So part of this money is going to this savings account that you can borrow from. If you borrow that money, whose money are you borrowing? When is it a good time to borrow your own money? Because if you borrow, you got to do what? And they're going to charge you what on top of that? On whose money? And you still got to pay this amount for the insurance policy. So now they double dip. Is that a good thing or bad thing? Right? It gets even worse. Let's say you have $50,000 in here. You borrow it, and you say, Mr. Insurance Man, you told me that was my money. I'm not giving it back to you. So you don't give it back to them. Now you pass away without paying that $50,000 back. How much would your family get? No, they're going to get something. 100. Why only 100? But whose money was that? So why are they going to take it from over here? Does that make sense? No. It gets even worse, right? Well, they say, wait, there's more, right? So now you got your, let's say it's 50,000 here, and you don't touch that money at all. Now you pass away. The insurance man comes to your family and says, listen.
They're going to keep that money too.
That's a good point. The insurance man comes to your family and says, listen, you have an option. Your dad said some good things. He had a $150,000 death claim, but he had $50,000 saved up. Now you have a decision to make. You can take the 150 or you can take the 50. Which one would they take?
Why would you take the 50?
I'm asking you. Which one would you take? Which one would they take?
I would take the 150.
All day long, right? Guess what happens to the 50,000? They keep it. So they only giving your family 100,000 because 50,000 was your own money. Does that make sense?
How
right?
do they do that?
Because it's legal. You signed for it, right? The way they sold it is just like I sold it to you at first, and mostly I would say 90% of people say they want to get the cash value because they sell it like you're doing 2 things at one time. Totally bogus. I had the same thing. Why? Because I did what my parents did, and I wasn't educated about money. Now watch this. We tell you to buy term and term on. So in this family, we gave them $300,000. They were paying $300 a month. Now they're paying $123. Now, if you died, would your family be better off with $300,000 or $150,000? What's easier for you to pay every month, $298 or $123? So if I'm saving you some money, $175 every month, what should you do with that money? Into what? Not the savings account. Not your bank. That's stocks and mutual funds, right? So by putting that money away on the side, now by the time the term is over, you have a $500,000 saved up. Whose money is that? Do you have to borrow from it? No, not at all. If you take from it, you still got this. Oh, this gets really good. Now, if you die before your term is over, now your family gets this plus that. They can get both of them if you die before the term is over. Now, here's the thing. Once that term is over, you have no more insurance, right? So my question is,